I would like you to journey 7,000 miles around the world, from the Mojave Desert of Nevada to the Sahara Desert of Egypt.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Gambling, drinking, Sin City. But is that really all there is to do? Apparently not, which is why we're back at the northern edge of town, just a few minutes past Fremont Street to check out something I've always wanted to see, the Las Vegas Natural History Museum. Oh yes, I know, not something you'd see in The Hangover, but Las Vegas has several museums that have nothing to do with gambling and drinking and stripping, including this one over here that's closed, unfortunately, today, right next door. That is the old Las Vegas Mormon Fort State Historic Park. Oh, you heard me right. Mormon Fort. That's right. Las Vegas was originally founded by the Mormons. Boy, if only Brigham could see what it's become now. This is something I've always wanted to see. Unfortunately, today it is closed, and so natural history it is. And I suppose we might as well start in the International Wildlife Gallery. Dude, this is weird. Not that the museum exists or anything, that I am completely alone in here. Look at this. Now this is awesome. We got some creatures from South America, from the Amazon. Look at this jaguar right here. Look at his coat. I always think of jaguars being black, but they can have spots. That thing is, imagine seeing that poke its head out of the bushes and come at you. That would be the last thing you ever saw. We got toucan Sam up there. Over here we've got lots of different animals from the Asian steppe. Looks like they got a lot of different kinds of goat and gigantic sheep. What in the world is that? Dude, look at the size of that thing. It slowly transitions into the Asian rainforest. This is bizarre, dude. I mean, I just came from the Strip, and CES is starting, the Consumer Electronics Show. Unfortunately, I have no invite, no ticket. No ticket! But all the elevators are crowded, the casinos are slammed, busy, 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 and then I come here, nothing. And there's creepy wind noises, too, over here, coming from the polar section. You know, like that Matterhorn sound. Ooh. Making it feel extra creepy. Dude, look at the size of that polar bear right there. I'm standing several feet in front of this, close to the camera. I should be bigger than, but this thing is freaking huge. And just a helpful piece of advice, if you ever encounter a polar bear in the wild, just give him a bottle of Coca-Cola. He'll be happy. And I just realized I have no idea what this is. A yak? No. A muskox. I remember from my zoo cards as a kid. You remember those? Little North American action. Now look at this moose. I've never seen a moose in the wild. Allie and I drove all over New Hampshire looking for moose. There were signs everywhere, watch out for the moose. I don't think they're real. Oh, look at the bears. This one is a little bit angry. We'll just ignore him. But look at this one's all asleep. He just wants a rub. Look at the bison. Look at the buffalo. Look at the baby buffalo. I don't think I've ever seen a baby buffalo. Anyway, this place has 2 stories and some very incredible stuff inside. It's not just stuffed animals. I don't know what they're taxidermied animals, I guess. In fact, I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the stuff we are going to encounter. Dude, look at this lion right here. Yeah. Simba. Dude, I have the whole place to myself. This is awesome. All right, well, now that we've seen the stuffed wildlife, the stuff you think of when you first think of a natural history museum, we're going to move on to some other rooms. This is not something I expected to see in Las Vegas, in the desert. And again, look at this. Look at the size of this crowd. It's, well, non-existent. I wasn't expecting to go from the Strip to sea turtles and beluga whales. And look at this. It's one of those axolotl things in here. Why are these so popular now? I see stuffed axolotls. I've heard of people who have these things at home. Look at this right here. They have a shark tank. There are little sharks in there swimming around like you would see in a big old aquarium. Definitely a huge change of pace. Look at this. Look at this pufferfish over here. He's just stoked to have a visitor. I didn't think anyone was coming to see me puff today. All right, look at the size of this massive aquarium here with all this coral in it. That is just for this, just for the lionfish, that little poisonous fish right there has the whole tank to himself. He does not play well with others. This almost feels like you're at a place like 15 minutes before they close and you have to hurry through. But no, they just opened. Wow, check this out. Got all these tropical ocean fish over here. You have some clownfish. You got some Nemos over. Actually, that's more like a marlin right there. Dory? Hey, you're not Dory. Some freshwater fish right there. Man, I never had an aquarium that clean. African cichlids. And of course, a massive display of sharks. See, when I'm in Las Vegas, I'm always looking for something to do that's sort of more family friendly, for lack of a better term, for lack of a better shorthand for what I mean. Something that, yeah, you could take the kids to, something that doesn't involve, losing all your money. I've had my eye on coming here for years. I just never managed to do it because, like I said, there are some unusual things in this place I'd like to check out that are not all animal related. Like this. Prepare to walk like an Egyptian because we're headed in to see the treasures of Egypt. Look at this.
7,000 miles around the world.
Check this guy out right
Mojave
here.
Desert of Nevada, the Sahara Desert of Egypt.
Oh, he's taking us back to Egypt. Now, this is very interesting because a lot of this stuff was donated, or was used to be on display, I should say, at the Luxor Hotel. Specifically one very epic display further on in, and they've created this entire Egyptian exhibit around it. Of course, because it's a natural history museum, they have to have a few taxidermied animals in here. Look at this, here's an Egyptian lion, a desert lion roaming around over here. And check this out. Look at that cobra right there. Yes, the power of the cobra. Watch out, little mongoose. Dude, check this out. We're traveling along the Nile, deeper into the heart of Egypt, or the hearth of Egypt. Look at this. They got the little fireplace right here. They have an Egyptian dwelling, an ancient Egyptian dwelling. Uh-oh.
I wanted to be an outside cat.
We've got some jars and some cotton. This is the old traditional stove where they make their bread. This is awesome. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's a little bit eerie. I was not expecting to be alone in all these galleries. The crazy part is, while I was on the way here, I realized, oh, I forgot my wallet. How in the world am I going to go? I'm going to have to go all the way back to the hotel. I was checking all my pockets, and I just happened to have $15, which is $1 more than I needed. So now I have $1. All right, here's the marketplace here. You got all the foods, you got your fruits and vegetables, dates, fish. Definitely a lot to learn in here. This is awesome, but again, extremely eerie. I expected to come into this gallery and find more people, but it's just me. Feels a little bit freaky, like some kind of dream. In fact, this is what I dream of when I go to Vegas or Disneyland or wherever. I just dream of a little elbow room, right? And then finally I have it and I'm creeped out. All right, this is what we've been looking for. Look at this. This way to Tut's tomb. And if I'm correct, I'm about to have my mind blown. Look at this. This is a recreation of King Tut's tomb. If you recall the story, they broke through a piece of the wall.
Yes. Wonderful.
That's what they said. They said, can you see anything? Yes. Wonderful things. There's a piece of glass right there. I did not realize that. Bonk. This is supposed to be a full-scale replica of King Tut's tomb, including replicas of all the treasures found within. This is the thing that was once at the Luxor. I was not expecting it to have all this glass here. I've never managed to make it to one of those King Tut exhibits or anything like that, and this is like next level because it's a whole replica of the tomb itself. I was thinking you'd be walking through it, but I guess this makes more sense. It's packed with treasures, right? It was a little small space. Look at all that freaking stuff in there. Now, the reason King Tut is so famous, even though he died at 18, he wasn't pharaoh for very long. It wasn't Egypt's greatest pharaoh by any means. It was because of his tomb, because it was found with so much stuff still intact inside of it. They found evidence of grave robbers. They had broken in and stolen some things, but didn't get all the way in for whatever reason, leaving all these fantastic treasures to be found. Now, some of the greater pharaohs would have had way more stuff and way bigger, more elaborate, grander tombs, but this is the most complete intact tomb of a pharaoh ever found. What a discovery. And Howard Carter was in Egypt looking for years for, his big break, his big thing. And this is what he found. Imagine peeking through that wall when you first broke through and seeing all of this stuff jumbled in there. Look at this. There were over 2,000 objects in just this little annex chamber right here. Had over 2,000 objects in it. Dude, I mean, that is a lot of swag. By the way, the building is making noises, like creaking noises and stuff every once in a while. Ah. So what the heck was that? So now not only am I having the experience of being in a natural history museum alone, I'm having the experience of being in King Tut's tomb alone. This is incredible. Look at this. This is King Tut's chair from when he was a little kid. Look at all this stuff. These are faithfully created replicas of all the stuff inside of the tomb. Like I said, I've never seen the originals. I've never been to Egypt. I'd like to go one day. It's kind of one of those things that you go, wow, why is it such a big deal? King Tut. And you see it. You see all of this stuff and you think, wow, this stuff was thousands of years old. And yes, he might not have been the richest, grandest king of them all. He had a very small tomb as it was. But look at this. They found stuff like this. His freaking bed. So now we know what kind of beds at least some people, the rich people, were sleeping on 3,000 years ago. All right, we're circling the tomb. You can see here the tomb is this big old thing, recreated one to one. The real tomb, obviously, was dug out deep under the ground, like into the bedrock kind of thing. And so we're circling the outside of the tomb and getting to peek in through all these windows here so we can see the way that it was actually laid out. And look at that in there. That must have been the most exciting thing to discover of all, because that's his freaking sarcophagus. That's his coffin in modern English. I don't know why they chose the flickery torchlight to illuminate everything in the tomb. It's a mood, I guess. Look at that thing. I never knew it was standing on a little golden stand. Look at the size of that thing. Now, supposedly his sarcophaguses, his coffins, were made for other pharaohs and then just quickly adapted to, you know, be King Tut's face on there. And obviously inside of that thing, they found the inner coffin and then found that golden mask over King Tut himself, because it wasn't just his stuff in there. It was, in fact, the mummy. Now I can't help myself. I'm just thinking of Boris Karloff. This is kind of cool because they're showing people how they scan mummies now, you know? They do CAT scans on them, MRIs and everything. All right, it's a slide to scan. Oh, look at that. It's a way of looking underneath the wrappings here and checking out the mummy inside without having to unwrap him or break up the body. Normally, I don't think I'd find this gruesome or weird or creepy. But once again, I am all alone in here. Dude, this is awesome. At some point in my childhood, eventually, I feel like it took a long time, we got cable. And once we got cable, oh man, my mom and dad, and especially my dad, really just always watched Discovery Channel back when it was very educational, and the History Channel back when it was the old, again, less entertainment and more history. And so we didn't always see the new popular movies or watch the new popular shows back in the early 90s. My brother and I grew up sort of on documentaries, and to this day we're both subscribers of things like the Great Courses Plus and all that kind of stuff. I can't get enough of documentaries, which maybe shows and the kind of stuff that I make and put on the internet. I love learning about history specifically. And at one point my brother, I'm talking about in his 30s, was like, you know what? I love ancient Egypt. I'm gonna learn how to read hieroglyphs. And so he did all this, he taught himself how to read hieroglyphs. He's probably pretty rusty now, so I know he'd love this. Yeah, so anyway, this was all in the Luxor. This was an exhibit at the Luxor, and if I'm remembering this all correctly, they had this big exhibit there for years, you know, like, oh, come see King Tut's tomb at the Luxor kind of thing. Then eventually they're like, okay, nobody's interested in history. Let's get rid of this, have some room, more room for slot machines, that kind of thing. Donated this here to the Natural History Museum, and then a couple years later went, you know what we should do? We should have King Tut's tomb, and then got another replica of King Tut's tomb. I don't know how much money they spent doing it all over again, but you know somebody in that office was probably pretty darn mad. Look at that, there's King Tut, there's King Tut's face compared to the mask that was over the mummy found in the tomb. That's pretty cool. Little lenticular art there. Pretty old school. And then look at this. King Tut was 18, or that was old enough back in the day to be at least trying to produce children. Unfortunately, his children were stillborn, and they were actually buried with him. 2 of his stillborn children, they've x-rayed them. So there's one of the x-rays there. It's a little bit creepy, but, you know, it is what it is. The thing was, he had this advisor named I, and I married his wife after he died. Oh yeah, King Tut was married. I believe her name was Ankhesenamun. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. A lot of guys are worried about their wives turning into scorpions, but it turns out the scorpion in Tut's life was his wicked advisor who made himself pharaoh. King Tut's dad also was one of the weirdest pharaohs ever. Akhenaten, he was the one who changed their entire religion, tried to make them have a monotheistic sort of sun god religion. Side note, I've been looking for like 10 minutes here. I do not see this scorpion. I see a couple of crickets in there. I wonder if they're Egyptian crickets. Anyway, the other reason King Tut should have been famous was he was the first one to sort of restore the old Egyptian gods, bring things back to normal. Unfortunately, he died so early. Fortunately, I think I took all the credit. I can't remember his actual pharaoh name. It is something really complicated, and there's no sign in here about it. I think it's like Capare, something like that. Oh, look at this. There is actually a Boris Karloff, The Mummy poster inside of here. I filmed the filming locations of that out in the California desert. I highly recommend the original The Mummy. Brendan Fraser's good, but you want to go back and watch that Boris Karloff version. It's like a time travel love story. Very cool. All right, dude. That was awesome. King Tut's tomb. An unexpected pleasure seeing these unexpected treasures. Okay, that's the main thing I've been meaning to see out here for years. Like, I knew that King Tut's replica tomb was moved here. Everything after this now is just icing on the cake, and I didn't even think about the fact that they've got dinosaurs. And not just musty old dinosaur bones. They've got gargantuan, life-size, animatronic, moving dinosaurs in here. I feel like I'm being really loud, but it's okay because nobody else is around. Looks like part of the exhibit is closed here behind the T-Rex's tail. But look at this thing. Look at the size of that thing. It's bigger than everybody's dog. You thought I was going to say mother-in-law, didn't you? Well, like the Natural History Museum, I'm just full of surprises. Look at this. Here's a button. Let's push the red button. Whoa! I was not expecting that to be so loud. That was it? All right, take 2. Maybe if I hold it down this time. Nope, that's it. 1 push, 1 blast. Still a little unnerving. That is awesome. This is cool. The Triceratops is just permanently on. He's shaking his head like, no, I don't think so, buddy. You're not coming over here. I want to cross the creek. I want to eat you. None shall pass. You will not pass the water. Going a little crazy in here. All alone. Dude, look at this thing. Look at the size of that guy. That's a Dilophosaurus right there. Apparently they used to roam here in North America. There's some kind of little burrowing creatures down there that we probably evolved from, for all I know. That is one freaky, impressive dinosaur. And it's very cool because look at that. They got the sort of downy feathers on it. Because we now know that probably most, if not many, dinosaurs had feathers on them. These weird sort of downy kind of strange feathers. You hear about the feather thing and you think, oh, so they were like giant chickens? But I think it was almost like, it's almost like he's wearing a little fur blanket on his back. It looks more like fur than feathers, like the kind of feathers I think of. Oh, and this is cool. They've got some fossilized dinosaur tracks. Has some dinosaur vertebrae in here. They got some coprolites over there, which is fossilized poo. They got some dinosaur crocodile teeth. Lots of tiny bits and pieces of dinosaur bones, some allosaur bones, prehistoric turtle parts. Man, that's hard to say. Prehistoric turtle parts. Also, a few more people have joined me in this gallery, which makes it feel a lot less creepy. This is the kind of stuff that's really boring as a kid. You know, it's a lot more exciting just seeing T-Rex, unless somebody explains it. You have to have somebody to put it in context and go, dude, imagine, think, these are thousands, tens of thousands of years, millions of years old, and they're still buried beneath our feet out in the desert. I mean, these are massive creatures that actually existed, and those are actual fossilized remains. You know, you kind of have to think about it for it to be fascinating. And if you think about it, the thoughts are fascinating, but, I don't know, still a little boring. At least compared to those. No offense to my paleontologist friends out there. I think if you were here, you would make it a lot more interesting for me. These are cool. Some more fossils down in here. Now, apparently, this is an ichthyosaur. And the ichthyosaur is Nevada's state fossil. I'm going to be honest with you, I was unaware that we had state fossils. Now, I'm pretty curious to see what California's state fossil is. Man, this place has got more fossils than an old folks' home. Look at this ichthyosaurus skeleton. Apparently, there's a difference between an ichthyosaur and an ichthyosaurus, which is something else I never knew. Oh no, guys, I'm learning! No! Look, when I was a kid, I loved playing with dinosaur toys. You know, those old 80s dinosaurs, the hard, plasticky, rubbery plastic. You know the ones, the toys. Also sort of those little rubber 10-cent dinosaurs and all that stuff, but I never really got super into dinosaurs, and I think the reason is because I always had trouble with the names. Parasaurolophus. I'm never going to remember that, see? I can pronounce it if I'm sitting here looking at this. Parasaurolophus. Oh, Lophus, see? I got it wrong. You think that little critter wanted to be called Parasaurolophus?
Nah, I wanted to be called Fred.
Oh, this is cool. Look at this. A little display of dinosaur eggs hatching. That is so cool. It's always like the coolest scene from any movie, whether we're talking about Land Before Time or Jurassic Park. Love seeing them hatch. Look at those. Those almost look like little toy dinosaurs. But those are baby Argentinosauruses, which obviously got a lot bigger later on. Look how cute. Look at all these cute little dinosaurs hatching. I wonder what kind of sounds they made. It's crazy that they just find dinosaur eggs out in the world. It blows my mind that you could just go in your backyard and see a funny shaped rock sticking out. Then some museum wants to put it in their collection. By the way, the audio, the sound sounds weird because this weird curved display. The closer I got to it, the weirder it sounded. Like you get closer. Hello, 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 hello. Echo, echo. Weird. This is great because there's a little playground off to the side of this room. The Young Scientist Center. You can uncover all kinds of fossils over here. Go on your own dig. Play with a microscope. Every kid's dream. Probably should be every kid's dream. You can learn about magnets over here. Hey, maybe if this had been in my neighborhood growing up, I would have been a scientist. Okay, unlikely. But I can dream. This is cool. Look, you can get underneath this and stick your head up inside with these tropical fish here. And find Nemo, as the sign says. Because look at this, they got a little marlin in there. They got a little Nemo right there. And a dory. See, they know what the kids want. I like this yellow submarine here. I would have climbed all over this as a kid. I kind of want to climb over it now. But for once, there are other people in the room with me. I just want to play in the submarine. This kind of reminds me of those Marvin the Martian spaceships that used to be in the Warner Brothers stores in the malls in the 90s. Nobody remembers? Okay. Oh, this is crazy. Look at this. They got a happy birthday party room with all kinds of creatures back in here. I can't help but notice, though, that the kid's name is Omega. It's Omega's party. That is a rad name for a kid. Not gonna lie. I wish my name was Omega. Oh, look at this guy. They got a blue-tongued skink.
What'd you call me?
Got some rodents in here. I see some guinea pigs down below, munching on their grass or hay or whatever guinea pigs eat. I never had a guinea pig. Did you ever have a guinea pig? And then there are some big old snakes over here. There's more snakes over here than there were by the snake pit out there. Another invisible scorpion. Oh, no. You can see this one. Ooh. He's ugly. A lot of insect. It says insect zoo right here. They've got giant Brazilian cockroaches. That is a lot of freaking cockroaches. I wonder if Allie would like one of these as a pet. Those things are disgusting. Madagascar hissing cockroaches right here. I don't want to be speciesist, but again, pretty gross. And then, of course, there are the tarantulas. Yuck. Whew. Omega's gonna have one weird party. All right, well, if we can't climb on the submarine, then I suppose we should see what's on the other side. I happened to notice while we were in here with the giant animatronic dinosaurs that there's an elevator to Africa.
I took the elevator to Africa.
Ooh, which one's Africa? I guess B. We'll try B. I was gonna say the elevator took a really long time, and then I went and checked the stairs, and yeah, it's pretty deep down under here. There's one massive basement, that's for sure, but it would have to be to fit all of this stuff inside of it. Like, look at that. Look at the size of that elephant head up there. I hope that's not a real elephant. I think it's a replica elephant. Giant Nile crocodiles. Some hippos back there. Don't worry, they're safe. They're not blowing bubbles or wiggling their ears. And then look up here, you got the leopard. At first glance, I always confuse leopards and cheetahs. Then I noticed the leopard print on him, and I went, oh yeah, leopard. Definitely a leopard, because he would never swindle anyone. Ah, looks like we have some female hyenas over here encountering a warthog. We had a lot of these in my high school, so these I'm familiar with. Fat-eared fox, big fluffy ostrich, and look at these lions playing with their friend. Ah, most impressive though is this rhino. I don't think I've ever been this close to a rhino. Obviously in zoos they're really far away, or an animal kingdom or whatever. That is one big beast. I would not want to be out in a field close to that thing, which makes me question why in the world these baboons are coming over here to harass him. Maybe they're in a gang. Maybe they're trying to mug him. Once again, I have the whole basement to myself, except that there's a gift shop at the bottom of that elevator over there. So there are at least people down here. It makes it feel a little less creepy. This is kind of awesome. This is like a very well-kept secret here in Las Vegas. If I'm here on a Monday and nobody's around, got this big gorilla statue in here, which is awesome. These things are massive too. Look at the size of those arms. Dude, look at those guns right there. Taking me to the gun show. And then here we have the homos. We got Homo habilis over here. They think this was the sort of first member of what would become the human family over here. They call him the handyman, and it's the first one they think used tools. And then there's the one everyone loved to talk about in 6th grade. It's Homo erectus over there, making a fire. This one predates us. We are Homo sapiens, so apparently we came a little bit later. I don't know a lot about early man and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I feel like I don't know a lot about anything, especially when I've been in Las Vegas for a couple of days, you know what I mean? I always wanted to go to Africa. Maybe one day I'll get there. Not today, though. Well, actually today, yeah, I'm in Africa. What am I complaining about? Ooh, the tropical rainforest display. Nice little creepy dark box with some buttons to push. I like that. Ooh, sounds. Ah! God! Ooh, it's almost like a little show. I kind of feel like there's supposed to be other lights coming on, but I don't think they're working at the moment. Anyway, pretty cool. Learning about early man over here. Learning about Africa. No rain, though. No rain down here. Get Toto on the phone. Need to have a word with them. All right, over here, right across from the gift shop, are some more hominids. So I think that's what Lucy was. You know, Lucy, the famous ape. All right, we came back up the stairs. Whew. I'm a little winded. Guess I need to do a little bit more walking, get my steps in. As you can see, they are reorganizing the displays in the museum. I missed just one room, which is right over here. This seems to be sort of more local wildlife native to Nevada. Ooh, check out that mountain lion right there. That would be very impressive if I didn't already see so many cougars on the strip. Look at the size of that elk. I've never seen an elk just wandering around in the brush in Nevada. I'd be pretty freaked out if I was hiking and that came around the corner. It's pretty darn large. I like how they also have some petroglyphs over there, some Native American symbols in the rocks. This makes you want to go out into the desert, man. One last thing in here. This is kind of cool. I like how they have these little dioramas of various sort of underground animal dens showing their holes up to the surface. Because when you walk through the desert, I mean, you just encounter tons and tons of holes. And they have everything from mice over here to obviously big giant ants and even bees. That's why I'm always worried about stepping over the wrong hole in the desert, because look at that. Underground bees. Pretty good band name. What do you think?
Why the hello, operator, are you talking to me?
All right. I think that's about it. All right, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool having basically the run of the place to myself. Though it feels weird talking out loud in here when no one is around and it's echoing all over. I'm glad you guys were with me, or I would have been really freaked out. Pretty cool to see all the animals, of course. Although I must say, the reason I came, and definitely my favorite part overall, was seeing King Tut's tomb. Definitely worth an excursion off the strip if you've had your fill of slot machines and noise and all of that hustle and bustle out there. I mean, it definitely feels like it's an entire world away. I'm only disappointed about two things with this museum. One is, why isn't there a replica of King Tut's sort of golden mask? You know, that famous golden mask? I'd have liked to have seen that in here. Maybe somebody can donate one to the museum one day. And also, my other bone to pick is that they got all these fossils, all this wildlife, all these stuffed guys, all these North American animals, and no Sasquatch. Come on, guys, what gives? Oh, there was one more room I missed. I didn't see this. There's a whole room of geology. Well, this rocks. I take it all back, because there's nothing I love to learn about more than minerals. And whoa, I may not have gotten Sasquatch, but look at the size of that cave bear skeleton. These are all prehistoric animals. Dude, why didn't I see this first? This is rad. Look at that, there's a freaking saber-toothed tiger right there. They call them saber-toothed cats now, but that is not as cool as when we were kids and they were saber-toothed tigers. Got the prehistoric bison back there. That thing is freaking huge. Prehistoric giraffe. Oh, modern giraffe. How did he get in here? This giant cave bear right there, the ancestor of the grizzly. This is a European one. 24,000 years old. That is crazy. We have got the head of a prehistoric North American elephant. Now that would be cool if they could bring them back. Bring back the woolly mammoths. Bring back this guy, the Rhinoceros, maybe? See, come on, scientists. This is a prehistoric rhinoceros right there. I can at least pronounce that. That whole time period with the megafauna fascinates me probably even more than dinosaurs. Something about the giant ground sloth and the saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves and cave bears, North American elephants and camels. We gotta get some of those back. All right, that was cool. An unexpected treat. I know, not the usual adventure, especially not the usual adventure you expect from Las Vegas. I wanted to see that Mormon fort. It's been on my agenda for a long time. It's just close to, it's gonna open tomorrow. Ironically, what's weird is the Natural History Museum will be closed tomorrow. So they got this strange back and forth thing going on there. I think they'd coordinate their days. There's another museum I really want to see out here in Las Vegas. I was gonna make it a twofer. Unfortunately, like I said, I forgot my wallet in the hotel, so I guess my museuming is done. Anyway, that is pretty cool, especially if you have kids and you're coming through Las Vegas. You're like, what is there for us to stop and do? Come to the Las Vegas Natural History Museum. I'm sure there are bigger and better ones. You know, there's a huge one in LA, and obviously there's a big one in New York, Night at the Museum and whatnot. This place is actually very, very close. I mean, you could almost walk to Fremont Street from here. I don't recommend it, but you could. I would go down there, but unfortunately I can't even afford to park. No wallet. They also have this nice park over here, this heritage park. Some nice little trails to walk around. They've got some playgrounds and some murals, obviously, on the natural history side of things. And the lower entrance over here, you can exit from the gift shop. Got some public restrooms. Nice little park. The reason I come over to the park, though, to show it to you, because over here on the playground, look at these. Hello. Hello. Well, hi. They got a whole family of freaky gorilla statues out here that are the most lovable, derpiest little critters you are ever gonna see. Also, a camel with no face, and a dinosaur with no tail, and no nose. Okay, so maybe Heritage Park isn't in the best shape, but hey, the playground looks nice. You got some little monkey bars and swingy thingy handy thingies. What are these things called right here? The rings. And you can take a free ride on this silverback gorilla. Whee! Las Vegas. I also just saw some pigeons fighting. There was a pigeon up there that just kicked another pigeon off the roost. Inner city violence is not a joke, Jim. All right, well, I certainly had a whale of a time out here. See, adventure is everywhere. There's all kinds of cool places around. I like whenever I can find anything that's sort of off the strip, anything that's sort of obscure, especially if I have the whole place to myself. It's nice to have a little change of pace. I just wish I had brought my wallet. Look at that right over here. Basically right next door you have the Neon Museum. I went there a few years ago. As far as I know, you're still not allowed to film inside the old Neon Museum, the old Neon Boneyard over there. And like I said, look at that. There's downtown Las Vegas, just right on the other side of the freeway. Like I mentioned in the last one, I have not been sleeping well in Vegas. There was a couple days I didn't sleep at all. I finally got a little shut-eye last night. Not that this is very interesting to you, I guess. But as much as this is a 24-hour town, this is definitely not a place you want to be fully sleep-deprived. It starts to feel like you're hallucinating walking around Vegas when you're feeling like that. So it's nice to have a little chill day. After a good night's sleep, definitely a change of pace, definitely a little bit of a different kind of adventure today. I'll be out on the streets tomorrow. There's supposed to be like a crazy windstorm tomorrow. Cameras and wind are not friends, so we'll see what happens. But hey, that's what makes things an adventure. And there's another museum I wanted to check out, a couple of other museums I wanted to check out while I was here, because I haven't really done the whole museum thing down in Las Vegas. There are several really cool ones. Not all of them allow cameras, but you know, some of them do. So hopefully I'll be able to see some more stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna quit early today. Very unusually early, and spend some time with the friends who actually brought me here. I am actually here at the behest of others this time, and I've been running around all over the place, not really hanging out too much, so spend some quality time with the buddies today. See you guys on the next one. Make sure and check out the links down below, all that stuff, the subscribing, the clicking the bell, so you can come and play with us next time. For now, we've done our duty. It's actually early enough that if I go back now to get my wallet, I might be able to take a nap. I can hotel and sleep well. See you next time. Dunk Leostius is. Wow, check this out. Look at all these. What was I gonna say?